If you guys can't tell what's happening, you might need to borrow my glasses because we got some brand new MaXpeedingRod T7s and a 2003 Lancer. And I'm gonna put these T7s in this Lancer. So without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to start with the rear first. This is what the rear coilovers look like. They're completely different to how they used to be. They're now blue instead of orange or yellow. And instead of having like a gold base, they're now matte black. They're stronger than ever. And I'm really keen to see how they feel because these shock absorbers are 350,000 kilometers old. I'm going to show you the other one on the other side when I pull it out. It looks 50 times worse than this one. I've already pulled this one out. I'm going to show you exactly how to install these now. So it's pretty simple to take these shocks out. Just got two 14mm nuts at the top and one 17mm bolt and a nut, and that's it. You pull it out. You don't need this anymore. You throw it out the window when you're driving. You don't need it. Now this one, you got these little metal bushes that slip in here. So they slip in 1 and 2, and that basically secures it to the lower control arm. You put the bolt through, two 15mm nuts, which are supplied by MaXpeedingRods, and that's it. So let's chuck this in. Just like that, one corner's in. Now we just got to multiply that process by 4. Pretty simple. This thing's leaking everywhere. This is the other side. Once we get this in, the rear will be done and we can move over to the easier part, which is the front. The front is so easy. Surprisingly, these are only 3 bolts, but they're very difficult because this car has so many Ks on it. Is done. Alright, it's getting dark. I'll do a proper reveal tomorrow, but here's what it looks like on the ground. Tough. Look at that. Looks so much better now.
Honestly, I think you got the height bang on. Like, it's not too low, but
it could be a little bit lower in the front, but I need to roll the guards because it's gonna grab.
Yep.
My camera's about to die, but tomorrow we're gonna take it for a drive. So we just teleported out to the hills in Victoria with the Lancer, of course. Got the coilovers in. The car is also aligned now. Spoiler alert, the car isn't super low. I didn't want it super low because this is literally my daily driver. So before, it had about 2 to 3 inches of space between the top of the tire and the bottom of the wheel arch. Same in the front. And now, I wouldn't say tucking, but it's very close. Definitely enough to rub on the tires. I'm gonna have to rip the fender liners out as well, but I figured since we're in the beautiful hills, we're gonna take the Lancer on a bit of a tow. Now it is wet, so we wanna go the speed limit, absolute maximum, 0.5 out of 10 effort. I'm just gonna give you guys a bit of a review on how these coilovers handle because I'm honestly impressed. First impressions with these coilovers, they are on the stiffer side. However, because the tires are so thick on this car, it sort of counteracts that and they feel pretty good. I think for a super budget coilover, they do an excellent job. And this is a super budget car, so it's very fitting. In the vehicle now, on a side note, this car is completely stock. The only thing I've done is I've taken the air filter out of it so we get some induction noise. Let's go.
Waiting for connection. Bluetooth is connected.
Got some little sweepers now. So far, it's completely, there's literally no body roll, which is perfect. Like I said before, these coilovers are a little bit on the stiffer side for daily driving, but for like tow runs like this, they're pretty much perfect. This car has no anti-roll bars, as in no aftermarket sway bars or anything like that, and it's staying super flat. The only thing letting these coilovers down is the lack of grip. Like this thing makes like 80 kilowatts at the crank, and it's frying second with 2 people in the car as well. Yep, understeer, understeer. But the coilovers are doing their job. The car is staying very flat. This thing still gets out of its own way though. It's pretty quick. So MaXpeedingRods sent out their new T7s, which are obviously an upgrade from the T6s that came before them. They adjusted the dampening, so it's a little bit softer for daily driving. Still, like I said, on the stiffer side, but a lot more comfortable than the T6s. They've also adjusted the spring rates, which means that for normal driving, they're a little bit softer, but once you start to lean into the corners a bit more, they stiffen up. So they're more of a progressive spring, which is good. So, are these coilovers worth it? Well, considering the car that they're in, and if you decide to buy these coilovers and put them in the car, I would recommend, since they are a budget coilover, to put them in something more budget. I'm fortunate enough to both have a very cheap, inexpensive fun car, and also, as you guys might know, I have a built S15, and that has really expensive coilovers in it. Now, everyone has to start somewhere, and I wish that I had a little cheap car like this when I had my S15, because I could have trialed everything on this car, including some cheap budget coilovers. In my opinion, having experienced both of these cars, it is super, super important that you start off from a lower level so that you can build up your skills, and then when you have the money and you have the experience, then it's worth getting some more expensive coilovers, maybe getting another car to put them in also, and you can keep increasing your skill level from there. But in terms of these coilovers, I 100% recommend it, and I'm not just saying that, it's a completely unbiased opinion. Instead of spending $200, $300, $400, maybe $500 replacing stock suspension parts in this car, you can spend the same amount of money on some cheap coilovers that'll do just as good of a job and make your car more capable. So I think it's a win-win situation. If you guys want to grab yourself these coilovers, head over to MaXpeedingRods website, use the code PACAN for a 10% off discount across the whole store. And if you have these coilovers in your car, doesn't matter if it's a Lancer or any other car, leave a comment down below. I want to hear your guys' opinion. Anyway guys, I have all these parts to install on the EF, so I better get to it. I'll see you in the next video. You'll be seeing more of this thing very soon.